JCT logo. Okay, I'm reading the question in the top right hand corner of the screen. It says that each square is 15 millimeters. Okay, and it gives us two options. It says draw one of the following views: an isometric view of the logo or an oblique view of the logo. Now I want us to draw an isometric view. Okay, and like I said, I'm going to draw along here, and you can use this as a guide for you to see if you're going right or wrong. Okay, so please use it as a guide. Now, same as always, we make sure that our border is on the page. Nice and neat, 10mm border, high standards. Okay, so my border's done, and now I'm going to start off with my logo. Now, again, the direction that you go doesn't actually matter, okay, but for me, I'm just going to try and go start in the bottom left hand corner and then go towards the right hand side. So I'm going to start my logo here, okay, in this bottom left hand corner, and I'm going to start with a 30-degree line because it's isometric. Isometric means 30 degrees. And again, I'll draw that in light pencil. Now, I look at my drawing, and the overall width of that logo is 240, and so therefore I'll measure in 240. So for me, I'm going to measure, put a dot at the 200 mark, and then measure an extra 40. So that's my overall length of my logo. Okay, and at these two junctions, then I'll have a vertical line. Again, start in light pencil and then fill in the details afterwards. We just want the three letters to be standing out, isn't that right? So again, try to be nice and accurate when you're doing this. The overall height of the logo then is 105. There is 105 of the overall height. So I'll bring that back down at a 30-degree angle. And that is the front face of my letter. Okay. I'm now going to split the front face into my 15-degree or 15mm squares. Is everybody happy with how I did that? Yeah? So Starting point right down the bottom left hand corner, draw a 30-degree line. Measure along that line 240. Where did I get 240 from? From the image on the screen. Again, you have the computers in front of you. I know they're a little bit awkward underneath the drawing board, but make them work somehow. Now the thickness of our lettering is 10 millimeters. So again, from this corner point, like we're sketching when we're doing our 3D sketching, the crow's foot, I'm going to step out by 10 millimeters, and then I'm going to draw that all the way around. So at the front I had a vertical line from this point, so at the back I'll have a vertical line. At the bottom I have a 30-degree line, so at the top I'll have a 30-degree line. On the right I'll have a 30-degree line. And again, like we're sketching, we draw the crate first, or we draw the box that it comes in, and then we fill in the details of the object afterwards. Okay? So that's our three-dimensional cardboard box that it will come in. Now I need to draw each individual letter or each individual space.
Is 240?
Yeah. I know, so you have to add them up. So you have to go maybe 200 and then add 40 onto it. It doesn't mean that 240 doesn't exist, it just means your tool is too small to do the whole thing in one job. Does that make sense? Yeah. So, again, along this, I'm going to call it a horizontal line, even though it's not a horizontal line, it's our 30-degree angle line. Okay, I'm going to measure my 15 millimeter sections. And I'm going to add them up, and I keep the set square locked in place without trying to slide the set square along as much as possible. Because when you slide the set square along, that's when you become inaccurate. Again, sharp pencil is really important, guys, because it means you can be more precise. And so I'm going to count them up now to make sure I have the same number of boxes. So from left to right on the JCT logo, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Perfect. So once I know I have that correct, and they're all equally spaced, using light pencil lines, or construction lines is what we call them, we draw up vertically. So remember, the T-square is locked in place. You'll notice my T-square doesn't move. It's locked in place, and my set square just slides horizontally along it. And I make sure that every line is consistently at the same angle. So I'm using the equipment the correct way, which is what we're always trying to do. Alright. And then I'm going to do the same on the vertical line. So on the vertical line here, I'm going to measure up in 15 millimeter increments. And then from there I'm going to draw my 30-degree line spaces. Again, in light pencil, making sure I'm drawing every line consistently at the same angle. That is our key thing here. We want to draw them all consistently at the same angle, and if they are all at the same angle, well then we know we're using the equipment correctly. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, so there's my grid. It's the same grid as you see on the screen, it's just slightly tilted. Okay, so Did you have a question, Anne?
Yeah, is each like gap
15 millimeters, yes, which is 1.5 centimeters. Do you have a question?
I don't have the thing because I forgot to block. I forgot me.
You don't have set squares?
No, I forgot it.
Right, let me know sooner.
Yeah, sorry.
Because you know you're off to delay. Yeah? Don't let it happen again.
Okay. Thank you.
Come on, let me know sooner and don't let it happen again. Come up here, I'm not getting up again.
Thanks, sir.
You're welcome. Okay, so again, you might notice on the screen there it's quite faint, and that's the idea of it. And now I'm going to start filling in my J, C, and T. Making sure I take my time and precise about every line that I draw to get my logo. So I start in the bottom left hand corner, and I'll work my way around the lettering. So I'm starting, and I go along then 30 degrees for 3 boxes. 1, 2, 3. I go up at a 45-degree angle, so from one to the other. When I say 45 degrees, it's not actually a 45-degree line, but it's at 45 to the front face. And then that line continues all the way up to the very, very top. It's at a thickness of 2 boxes, and it will come down to the last box. Comes down to there. Goes across at 30 degrees. You might notice the T-square doesn't move when I'm doing any of this, guys. The T-square stays exactly where it is, and I move the set square around everything. So there's the front face of my J complete. Now I could move on to my C and my T. However, I just want to speed up the process and the learning for everybody when there's minimal stuff on the screen for my 3D. So now for my 3D, guys, at every juncture that I will see, I'm going to go up and to the left at 30 degrees. So from here, I'm going to go up and to the left at 30 degrees until I reach the back. Same here, up and 30 degrees. Now this line is going to be in light because I don't know where it finishes, because I have to get 2 lines in order to get it done. So from this point here, I'm going to go back that way at 30 degrees, and from that point, I'm going to go back that way at 30 degrees. Where the 2 of them cross will give me my 3D lettering, and so there's lots of movement of the set square here, but absolutely none of the T-square. And now for this one, I'm going to measure it out 10. So it's going to start here, go out 10, and then it will come back up to the very, very tippy top. So that's going to go out 10. And if I join these 2 vertically, they should be bang on each other. And back at 30 degrees this way. So there's the first letter. It's done in 3D as well. And again, we're only drawing 3 types of line. 30 degree to the right, 30 degree to the left, or vertical. First letter complete. Second letter is then my C. So again, I want to draw it with a sharp pencil, joining up all my corners. T-square is not going to move from here. I'm going to go all the way up. There's 1 square left. What I want us to do when we're finished this then, guys, as well, is we're going to use our sketching or our shading that we were practicing to shade this lettering in with our 3 different tones and see how we get on. You might notice that my page is starting to get a little bit dirty. There's kind of dirt spots around it because my set square needs a bit of a clean. I think I've showed you how to clean that before, have I?
No.
So if you just get a scrap piece of paper, so any scrap piece of paper, and you get your set square and just rub the set square, it takes off all the lead or carbon from your pencil that's stuck to the set square, and it takes it off, so it gives you cleaner equipment. So you notice on my page how dirty it's after getting. See all the dirt on the page?
Yeah.
See even here, look at that dirt. So I've cleaned up my set square a good bit. And hopefully that will help with my page.
Sorry.
Yes?
How do you measure the bottom again? I just can't get the perfect angle.
So T-square is locked in there like that. Hold it in place. So I'm pulling over towards the right, so it's locked. And you take this set square, which is the 30-degree set square, and you put it down against it and slide along. So when I slide that left and right, that gets me that 30-degree bang on. Yeah, and then when I flip it over, I get 30 degrees in the opposite direction. See that?
Yeah.
Is that okay? But the T-square never moves then. It's always stuck at the bottom, and it's the set square that's doing all the work. Okay? So that's the 2D of the C done. Okay, and I'm going to leave the 3D for now. I just want to do that first letter in 3D just to make sure everybody understood what to do and how to do the points where you don't have the end point. I just draw them in light pencil a little bit longer than what I need first. And now I'm going to do the T. So, again, I'm just always looking at my reference drawing and I'm copying it. All your information is in the reference drawing. So that's the front face logo done as if it was two-dimensional. Now we're going to have to make it three-dimensional, so I'm going to start on the left and work my way towards the right. So I'll take my set square and T-square and slide them along, and I will start with my 100 as my 0. So I'm going to zoom in on this just so people can see what I'm doing, make it a little bit easier to visualize. Okay. So 100 is on my 0. I need to go back by 10, like so. I'll do the same thing at the top of this straight line as well. So again, making sure my page does increase. I'm using this T-square and set square correctly. And then we'll join them up using a vertical line. Like so. I'll go back at 30 degrees here until it reaches the top back of the box. We can just join the two of them up like so. There's no definite angle on that. If there was a definite angle, if I didn't have 2 points to join up, what I could do is this, called sliding set square. So I know that these two lines are parallel, so I can set one set square up to the front line. I can introduce my second set square at the bottom, hold the second set square in place, and then no matter where I slide this, I'm going to always get a parallel line. So see the way that there is parallel? Dot there is parallel, and dot there is parallel. I could do that as well if I wanted. If you wanted to introduce the second set through, you could, or you could just join the 2 points. So as long as you get the right solution, it doesn't matter in this scenario. And that is the outside left of the shape done. Now I'm going to have to do the inner details in here. So again, what you see, so from this corner point I'm going to have to step back by 10 millimeters. Then the front edge here is vertical, so therefore the back edge should be vertical also. And it's just a short little line to there. Then we move to the tail of the C, and again 30 degrees, 10 millimeters thick. I do the same with the bottom here, 30 degrees, 10 millimeters thick. And we'll join them up like that. And this will come along at 30 degrees this way. And that is the C complete. Now I'll do the T, and then I shade it in to make it look even better. So this time I'm using 60 as my 0. Going to step back by 10. Slide along in here, step back by 10. And all my 30 degree lines in one go. Bring that down. So again, if you're not sure of the length of something, like this line here, I'm not sure when to stop, draw it in a light pencil line first. And then when you get your second line, you'll know where to stop. You can draw it again in a better, heavier detail second time round. And that there is the JCT logo complete. And now what I would do is I would shade it. Okay, so we're using our sketching technique. Remember, if you want to draw in our little, sketch in our little cubes here at the bottom. what you notice then, guys, is what I've done is I've drawn my little my 3 cubes down here, like the image I was showing you earlier on. And we're going to practice on that our shading. So we're going to have shades and shadows. I'm going to put in the picture of this into the Teams group, and then we can use it, draw it here first, shade in these 3 boxes first, and then apply the same shading rules to our JCT logo. Okay.